5 on your sideline, sponsored by Universal Windows Direct.
Welcome into 5 on your sideline. I am Corey Miller, and we are almost at peak basketball time. Bragging rights is Sunday. High school holiday tournaments are on the way. It's a good time for hoops in St. Louis.
That's right, Corey. And I'm Annie Kroll. With all these players, they're probably looking for a lot of three-pointers with the holidays. While we look forward to those tournaments, we had some rivalry action tonight to take care of first. So, Corey, will you start things off?
Let's do it. We begin at Vianney, where it was a green out against Chaminade to honor senior Jack Higgins, who passed away last week after a battle with cancer. And if it's a Vianney game, you know you're getting some Luke Walsh highlights. Here's his first. That's good for 3. Let's go the other way now. Elijah Panawan's hoop and the harm for Chaminade. He's going to the line. Red Devil defense was tough all night. Jahidi White Jr. denies this shot with authority. Dad had 355 blocks in the NBA, by the way. Back to Walsh. He hits the acrobatics on 2 nice finishes at the rim. Up and under. Then he's going to hit a nice little lefty lay-in. It was Chaminade's night on the scoreboard, though. J-Mo White hits for 3 as the Red Devils get a big road win, 77-63.
The Smet getting a bit of bling tonight. The 2023 state basketball champions getting their rings ahead of the game against CBC. The bling ring was ready to swing as Riley Macy gets his state swag and gets the inside track for 2. Even to Smet quarterback Dylan Duff, this year's state football champ and a basketball forward last year, had a little bit of a heavier hand to clap with in the stands tonight. But it was Devin Houston who gives the Christian brothers a 3-point answer from the top of the key. Macy's going to come back at it again, but this time from the corner. Yeah, that's going to be good. Then Houston, we don't have a problem here. Launching it to CBC, Darian Jones. That's good, but DeSmet pulls away with the win, 73, CBC 54.
Big matchup in the Southwestern Conference in Illinois. 8-1 Alton against 9-1 Belleville East. Lancers first, Jalen Coleman, pump fake. That's good for 3 eventually. Alton's turn. Treshawn Sims, strong to the bucket, gets it to go, and 1. Let's go back and forth here. Ja'Cory Brown for East. Nice finish of his own. And back to Alton one more time. Step back 3 from Samaj Stampley. That's money. Alton gets the win on the road, 55-42 over East.
East St. Louis hosting Belleville West tonight. Alex Johnson spots up, and he's going to hit the 3 for the home Flyers. Watch this right here. Oh, it's gorgeous. Later on, it's Tyreek Barnes doing the work in the paint, though, for an East Side bucket. That goes in. Nick Hankins Jr. gets a highlight for West with that drive into the finish. Oh, it's pretty, eventually going in. But East St. Louis had more highlights tonight. Here's 2 more from Johnson, a basket, and then don't worry, he's going to also get a little bit of a steal and another basket. East St. Louis wins 63-34.
Whitfield at Westminster. Whitfield going to start things off. Dylan Player, that's a good name for a basketball player, I think.
I agree, Corey.
Tough take to the hoop for 2. On the other end, Westminster has a stud. Will Powers is a sophomore to watch, folks. Spots up from the corner for a triple, and this isn't a repeat highlight. He does it again. Powers had 28 points tonight. The rest of the Wildcats got in on the action as well. J.D. Robertson, that's good from downtown for Westminster. They win 81-56.
Clayton facing off against Lutheran South at home tonight. Greyhounds Sebastian Bolden cuts underneath right here. Watch this. Oh yes, comes around for the basket. Then the Lancers are going to throw it. 1, 2, 3. Don't worry, Ben Long muscles it in for 2 and gets the basket there. Bolden gets the rock one more time, gets double teamed on the corner shot, tries to get the 3-pointer, but don't worry, he finds Clayton's Eli Faust through traffic, and it's Faust who gets it into the basket. But Bolden isn't done just yet. He's going to fly down the runway, gets in the basket. Keep in mind, folks, he's only a sophomore. Clayton pulls away with the win, 94 points tonight against Lutheran South, 87.
My goodness, that's a high-scoring high school game. Hey, big girls game last night on the Illinois side. 8-2 Columbia hosting 8-0 Bree Central, who's ranked as the top 2A girls team in the state of Illinois. Eagles tried to hand them their first loss. Ava Langen's catch and shoot, that was good for 3. Next possession, Central's Taylor Trame answers with a 3 of her own. She's not down quite yet. Time winding down, she'd connect from deep again. Bree Central stays unbeaten with a 54-35 win over Columbia.
And then it's going to be some Thursday night action last night. Great rivalry. Lafayette at Eureka, and the home crowd was in a festive mood. Joe Rowell spots up and drills a long triple for Eureka. Back the other way, number 33, Nolan Savoy, makes good on his number and hits the three for Lafayette. He does some work down low, too, though. Nice up and under for the basket. Gets it around. This one came down to the wire, but Lafayette gets the 51-49 nail-biter win on the road over their rivals from Eureka.
For 33 years, one event has drawn more high school basketball talent to our area than any other. It's hosted players like Jason Tatum, Tyler Hansbrough, and Andre Iguodala before they were stars. And there's another loaded lineup coming on January 4th. I sat down with one of the people who has helped make the Highland Shootout one of the premier high school hoops events in the entire country.
But our pitch is it's a full gym. We've sold out every year for the past 8 years. And it's a full gym where kids can come in and they basically get treated like celebrities. They sign autographs. It's just a really cool experience and great venue. We usually have 3,000 to 3,500 total in the gym. And, you know, it's ranging from local fans, St. Louis area fans, to teams that travel and their fans, and then we get them from everywhere. We have a guy that comes down from Wisconsin every year, and he's one of the first people in the gym. We've got a lot of Missouri-Illinois matchups, so whether it be Vashon, everyone knows who Vashon is in the high school area, is playing Quincy, who's arguably the #1 team in the state. We've got Principia playing Columbia, which is a good small school matchup, but just a lot of good area talent. It's a big deal to our community in general, just because, you know, we're a smaller town in the St. Louis area, but somehow we've managed to bring in all this talent year over year, and everyone gets excited for it.
The Blues were in South Florida tonight to take on the defending champion Panthers. The note strikes first. Alexander Texier to Oscar Sundquist in front. He sends it home. 1-0 Blues. Panthers respond in the second. Uvis Balinskis. One-timer. That's past Hofer. We're tied at 1. Third period, this is going to get some folks talking. Sam Bennett lands a dirty hit to the head of Jake Neighbors. No penalty called on the ice. Jake sat out the rest of the game. And speaking of the rest of the game, we went to overtime. Panthers got a power play, and Alexander Barkov ended it. Blues get a point, but lose to the Panthers 2-1. Here's Monty on that hit on Neighbors.
Neighbors is doing okay. He seemed all right. I just didn't want to risk putting him back on the ice, but we'll know more tomorrow. That's a real dangerous hit. That's not a hit that's supposed to be in the league.
It may not feel like soccer weather outside today, but in St. Louis, the soccer news never sleeps. And today's MLS Super Draft had intrigue at both the college and pro levels in our town. SLU Billikens star defender Max Florian went #2 overall in the draft to San Jose. That's the highest a SLU player has gone since the first MLS draft. Down the road, City SC had a top 10 selection as well. They picked Akron forward Emil Jaskalini. 7th overall, the Big East Player of the Year was a Hermann Trophy finalist and led the nation in goals and points just a season ago.
In just about 3 months, the chorus of cacaws will fill the dome once again, and Battlehawks fans will have a new stable of quarterbacks to cheer for in 2025. There's Max Duggan, the former TCU QB, who was a Heisman finalist and led the Horned Frogs to a national title game appearance before the Chargers drafted him in the NFL. Then there's Chavon Cordero, who threw for 12,000 yards and 88 touchdowns in college at Hawaii and San Jose State. And of course, there's Manny Wilkins, who was last year's backup. It's going to be an open competition for starter. Coach Becht is fired up about his new guys.
We're excited about 3 new faces, and the competition usually rises, right, with somebody in this process, and they're going to get an opportunity to do that. So, you know, I think at all 3 levels, you got a player that's, you know, been in the league, been with us, knows the system. You got a guy that got drafted, played in a national championship, you know, got a chance to get a taste of it, that's hungry. And they got a young player whose numbers are better than any of the guys we ever had in our quarterback building in the last 3 years. And now nobody believes in him, and he gets a chance, and now he's got his opportunity to give that hunger and that competitive fire as well. So competition, man, it brings out the best in us. I promise you, somebody will step up.
For For those of us who love a good Wild West movie with its unpredictable nature, you have to appreciate the sometimes touch-and-go nature of the transfer portal, giving fans the highest of highs 1 minute and the next threatening to sign off on an entire coaching staff. Mizzou and Illinois certainly would have some leading characters in that film. Let's take a look first. As much as the transfer portal may take, it also is giving back this holiday season. Running back Ahmad Hardy is leaving Louisiana Monroe and heading directly north to Columbia. Last season as a freshman, Hardy had over 1,300 yards and 13 touchdowns. The biggest news in the portal madness for Coach Bielema is that Illinois' QB Luke Altmaier is not in the portal or going to the NFL. He's coming back next year, and Coach has heard from some former recruits who may be interested in the Illini once again.
Yeah, I think everybody has to get rid of that mindset and understand that we're a 6-month free agent business. You know, I would just caution everybody, including Mizzou Twitter, that it's really going to be okay. It's going to be okay. You know, we value production over potential, and you know that's going to be a key driving force for us in the decisions we make.
You know, what's really happening for us now is we're getting a lot of kids that we recruited 2-3 years ago that maybe we weren't quite sexy enough or good enough yet, and now all of a sudden they're like, oh, look at Illinois. These guys are doing some things, right? And even there's been 5 kids that used to be in this program that are other places that have reached out to me, and I just got to decide what we're doing there, right? So some of that stuff is a lot of fun to sort through.
Speaking of those two schools,
yes,
bragging rights on Sunday, fired up for that.
Can't wait.
That's always fun.
A little bit of basketball. We're talking about football, but basketball season is here.
That'll do it for 5 on your sideline tonight. For Andy Kroll, I'm Corey Miller. Have a great night, St. Louis.
Five on your sideline, sponsored by Universal Windows Direct.